Hi, welcome to Convince Me Audio. I'm Koji CEO, and for you guys, I have utterly ripped apart 3 systems on my desks to bring you this review. And comparison, actually. This is the newly released Holo Red from Holo Audio. Yes, that manufacturer that creates those monsters behind me. The super flagship DAC, the Holo Audio Make KTE, the Holo Audio Serene Pre, and the Holo Audio Bliss headphone amplifier. Obviously they do other units such as the Holo Audio Spring DAC that I reviewed last year. Then on the other side of the contender box we have the Ifi Zen Stream. This is their baby one, and this one is the IFI Neo Stream. They are all the same thing and they are all different and they all have their own functionalities. Let's put them up against each other and see which one comes out on top. Let's begin. First and foremost, a hardware tour and features, etc. This is the Ifi Zen Stream. This is a streamer. So first of all, what is a streamer? Do you need a streamer? And are there any point to them? What they do is separate your source from your computer. It might be a noisy gaming PC or it might be a very, very badly designed Mac when it comes to audio in regards to the USB connection. You completely isolate and separate this and send the signal from your computer remotely down the Ethernet or Wi-Fi to this device, which connects to your DAC, to your digital to analog converter, which obviously connects to your amplifier. You do this via a few programs that control these devices over the network. So for example, like Audiovana or Roon. I will actually make a video on these players. If you're interested, let me know down in the comment section if that is something you fancy. So separating your system from your audio device is always a very good thing, because noise from your graphics card has a tendency to leak through your DAC occasionally. If you found yourself increasing the volume and you can hear like an old hard drive sort of spinning, that's noise. That's noise from your graphics card, that's noise from your processor, from the board leaking through. It doesn't always happen. Some DACs have their own galvanically isolated module, like the Make KTE back there, but a lot don't. So we use one of these devices. This one is around £399, I believe. This is the wireless antenna I'm spinning back here. You also get 2 USB connections, USB-A, a coax, Ethernet, and obviously the 5-volt barrel connection for the DC input. The Ethernet can be connected to your router. The USB-A, the top one, will connect your DAC or coax if you fancy connecting that way. And the bottom USB connects a drive, so you can use it as an actual server for these players I mentioned to see all of your music and to be able to completely isolate from the PC itself. Setting that aside, then we have the Neo Stream, slightly bigger and pretty much the same size as the Red, quite a bit lighter, but this one is more intriguing than these two. These two are a lot more similar, except this one has a little bit more functionality, which we'll get onto in a minute. This one is just a streamer, nothing else. You connect your drive. I will discuss its functionality in the next section, but this one is just a streamer. This one is a streamer and DDC, digital to digital conversion. This one is not only a streamer, but it's a DAC as well, so you can output analog to your amplifiers, mitigating if you've got a DAC in the chain anyway. So this is the volume pot for that. The signal obviously being sent from the DAC within this unit, which is actually on the level of a Diablo. I think it might even be better, to be honest with you, but because this unit is quite new, I haven't put it through its thorough pacing testing yet, so the full review will be coming later. You hold the button to get into the menu, and there for the DAC you get filters that like you do with the other IFI products, the obviously display brightness, etc. So you got full functionality including volume for the DAC inside if you're using it as a DAC. And back here you get a wireless antenna just like the Stream here. This one has that too. And fortunately they bend and twist and you can actually put them aside. This is the AES output, digital out to go into your DAC. This is a coax out, just like this one. We're gonna ignore those two for a moment. This is optical. We're gonna ignore this one as well. And coming down here, we have I2S. This one doesn't have that. I wish it did. This is fantastic to connect directly to your DAC. 2 USB-A's, same principle applies here. One for audio out, the other to connect your storage. Ethernet, and something even more interesting on this one, Ethernet over optical, because this comes with a filter. So the electrical signal carried from your Ethernet is converted within that little box to optical, and it goes through the input here. And then we have the DC barrel connection, and I think that's about it. But the two we mentioned and I skipped over is these RCA out and this balanced 4.4 out. This is exclusively for the DAC part, so that if you are planning to use it as a DAC and a streamer simultaneously, you can actually do that and use the DAC inside there and not connect to an external DAC. Ultra versatile, very interesting product. Very, very interesting. So I'm gonna move those two aside so we can concentrate on the big boy. Roll up your sleeves, hold on to your balls. Here comes Holo Audio. This is the Red. This is heavy. This is probably as heavy as both of these plus another extra kilo. This is built like a brick shithouse. Thank you, Audio. You made me swear for the very first time on Convince Me Audio. But this thing is heavy. Got 4 beautiful feet. This gets nice and toasty, but not too bad. Switch, AC connection, obviously that converts to DC. Oh, I bloody hope it does inside somewhere. You got Ethernet. You got a micro SD card here. This is just for the software for the unit itself. So you can take that memory card out, flash the software, reinstall the software, etc. It's not inside and it's not internal. You got USB-A out. This goes into your USB-B inside your DAC and you connect it via this USB-A if you're using this as a streamer exclusively. We're gonna ignore the USB-B in for the moment. You got BNC out, you got coax out, AES out, I2S out. You got every bit of functionality you could possibly require. The one I omitted, oh, we got optical out as well here. I forgot about that. Fantastic. I rarely use it, but it's there if you want it. The USB-B. The USB-B means you can connect this unit to your source, being your Mac or your PC, so that it sees it all over the system, not just through a player like Roon or Audiovana, because it will see that it's actually like a DAC connected to your computer. So for example, I can run my screen reader through the Red and then stream out of the connections at the back to another DAC. The DDC has got filtering. It basically will sound much better than just USB out from your Mac or your PC. In the full review, I will discuss all about the DDC, etc. This is just a shootout between these three in case you can't decide which one to buy. So let's reiterate. Red, it's a DDC and a streamer. Neo Stream, it's a streamer and DAC. Zen Stream, it's just a streamer plus a server if you connect your hard disk to it. Let's talk about the functionality. How do you access the internals of these things, and is it necessary to? To access all of the software on these units, the Red runs a modified version of RuPXL which is basically what we used to use on the Pi previously. IFI have got their own software for the ZenStream and NeoStream. So you go to your Safari, you input 192, basically the IP address, 192.168, blah, 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 and you get an interface for all three of them. Within this interface, for all three of them, you can choose USB out or digital out. You can't have USB and digital out, unfortunately, on any of the streamers or other streamers I know of simultaneously due to the paths they take in regards to sending the signal out. So you choose and you take your pick. For example, the Red right now is selected as a DDC, and by selected as a DDC, I connect it from my Mac to the Red via USB-B. Then all the digital outs, I2S, AES, BNC, coax, optical, all work simultaneously. So they are all going to the TT2, to the May, to the CMA15, to the Hugo 2, etc. back there. NeoStream at the moment is working as a streamer, yet as analog out. So I don't need any of the digital out. I'm just using the DAC out through the 4-pin balanced into the Serene as a DAC. So I can test it and I can still use it with Audiovana as a streamer, etc. The ZenStream is actually chosen as a streamer exclusively, and USB. On this control panel, you don't only get the options to change the system settings, like what I just mentioned, digital or USB out, but IFI for both systems allows you to change your Wi-Fi, connect to Wi-Fi, connect to Ethernet, choose what type of settings you like, a complex one or a simple one where it runs through a little wizard, or a player where you can access connecting your hard disk to these streamers and DAC, these two, the IFI ones, where you could got like a player interface where you got all your library art, all the music, etc. if you fancy playing your music on an interface on your browser. I don't recommend it. Works, it's fine, you can control everything, but it's pointless when you got actual player like Audiovana or Rune, which are far more versatile and sound better. Red has the same interface. You can choose USB or digital out, and you can change all the settings you require, etc. So pretty much the same functionality, but Neo seems to be the most dense. The simplified one is ZenStream, and the one in the middle is Red. Red is on my reference top-of-the-line flagship system of Bliss, Monoblock AHP2, May, TT2, and whatever else we have running on our system testing equipment at the time. ZenStream is used exclusively for CMA15, turning that into a separate station over there for the tubes, and obviously the NeoStream, which has just recently landed. This unit actually gets used everywhere because it's got its own DAC. I don't really have to worry about DACs and things. It's very versatile, so I can put it on the Serene, I can put it on the Euphoria, I can put it, because it's got RCA out, single-ended out, I can put it on the Euphoria from Philips Audio. That OTL tube amp review will be coming shortly. Let me know if you like it, or if you have one, and how have you been finding it, because I'm actually kind of liking it a lot. So, $400, $1,000, $1,200. Pretty similar in price. All have Wi-Fi, all have Ethernet, all have a web-face interface to change all the settings, all pretty much are plug and play right off the bat. I had a little difficulty with Red, but we flashed the software, updated to the latest firmware, and it's been rock solid. The ZenStream has been the most solid out of everything. NeoStream had a little bit of a problem too in regards to software that had to go back to IFI, and they flashed the latest software. I mean, you can do it yourself through the USB-C connection, which is purely for changing the firmware and updating the firmware, but for some reason I had some trouble with it, so I sent it back. Working perfectly now anyways. You pay your money, you take your pick, which one of these you want. Just a streamer and maybe a very good DAC with filters, etc. Or a streamer and a DDC, because you like to use the other part of your systems, not just exclusively for audio. This, for me, is a winner. This is more versatile, this one has become redundant. But it's so small, I can create a separate system with it and it looks beautiful. immediately without having to worry. I mean, if you've got one of these and you've got a Zen DAC, you can build a really nice portable separate station from your PC very easily, and it's very tiny. I think that's why I like it so much and why I haven't gotten rid of it. It's because it's so small and versatile, and it's so stable. I've never ever had a problem with it, and the fact that it's got USB and coax, I occasionally use it if I need to. But to be fair, both of these units here, Red and NeoStream, have got so many connections, I don't think I could ever run out. They're very versatile. The best measuring DDC and the best measuring streamer at the moment, looking at the measurements from Golden Sound, from my boy Cam over there, has been the Red. To exceed this, you're gonna have to spend tens of thousands of pounds. It's that freaking good. It's that freaking excellent. This thing is amazing. If you're looking for a DDC plus a streamer, I recommend the Red over everything else. Genuinely, it's absolutely incredible. But if you find yourself your DAC limited, or you don't want too many boxes, and you fancy optical Ethernet, and you fancy a DAC inside your streamer simultaneously, light and really well designed and beautiful, this one's for you. This one's a bit of a unicorn. This one's like the IFI iDSD Pro Signature without the amplifier. This is just the DAC and the streamer. This is excellent. If you fancy that, the option's there for you. Maybe you don't want to spend too much money. Maybe you just want a streamer. This one is fantastic. All of these depends on your needs. How do all of these sound? They are digital to digital conversion and transport. They technically should not sound any different from one to another. But the filtering, the way it receives the data, makes a difference. To my ears, it's made a difference. The Red has been the most consistent, best sounding streamer dash DDC I have come across. This thing is excellent. The NeoStream sounds better than the ZenStream. The NeoStream is fantastic as well. Genuinely fantastic. I was kind of shocked. Connecting just via USB and using that horrible integrated USB connection from a Mac versus one of these units, all three, I think this sounds least the best, especially out of these two. You get more cleaner sound, better separation, it's just a better delivery, better background, no electrical noise. It's much better if you're running a reference system. So the Red has been fantastic. Their functionality is all pretty much the same. They all have myriad of connections. They all have web-based software that runs very consistently and very solidly. It's just a matter of which one suits your system best. The NeoStream and the Red both have exactly the same amount of connections. They have lots, except for the DAC part inside this, which gives you two extra things, being balanced and single-ended out. And the Ethernet is not just Ethernet, it's Ethernet and Ethernet optical too, and you get the filter with it simultaneously. So thank you iFi for that, that's fantastic. But if you do require a DDC, this doesn't work as a DDC. This one does. And for me, the DDC is more important than a DAC, seeing as I've got super flagship DACs back there, there's plenty of them. For my use case, it's a Red. For your use case, it might be NeoStream. Let me know in the comment section which one might suit your needs best. Let's discuss the caveats. Okay, out of the factory, the Red, unless it's on the latest firmware, I had problems with it. A couple of other my boys have had problems with it too, until they flashed it and actually updated the firmware. That was a bit annoying, to be honest with you. So bear that in mind. It's possible you may need to flash it. Most of the time, that probably would have been rectified by now if you have the later models. NeoStream. Caveats, I had a little problem with the software too. When it updated, it kind of bricked itself a little bit. And it wasn't bricked because a lot of the functionalities were working. but the analog out wasn't working for some reason, and it had to be flashed again via IFI, which was very odd. So I would like to bring that up too. ZenStream has been fine. Any other caveats? Apart from that, I honestly can't think of, because they do what they say they do on the tin. They are a streamer, easy to use, and not planned to be any trouble. And once the software was sorted out on all of these, they've just been consistent for the last month. I don't even know they're there anymore, to be honest with you. A caveat of the Red is going from DDC to streamer, you have to switch it off like this, pull out the USB-B cable, switch it back on, and you're back on streamer. Switch it off, connect USB-B cable, switch it back on, and you would be using it as a DDC at that point. I wish there was a button that reset itself to those two functionalities. I don't see the difference between switching it off. It's just the fact that you have to actually unplug that USB-B cable, which is a bit of a nightmare that I don't like. Apart from that, it's very straightforward. These units are all very, very, very solid. So let's do the scores. Software. I give software a tie to Neo, Zen, and Red. 4 tigers out of 5. And it works perfectly with a screen reader, so absolutely no problem if you've got some difficulties accessing that. So the functionality of the unit really does depend on you, whichever feature you choose to have. Build quality goes to Red. It's one of the best built things I've seen. It's ridiculous. It looks like it's going to be around for the next 100 years. It's solid as a brick. 5 tigers out of 5. These two units, 4 solid tigers out of 5. They're built very well too. This is just more dense. Software features, being able to reboot and troubleshoot quickly. 4 tigers for the Red, 4 tigers for the NeoStream. Price to performance ratio, 5 tigers, 5 tigers, 3 tigers. Because you can buy a Pi, Raspberry Pi for £50, and you just get USB out. Looks ugly, doesn't look as beautiful as this. Same functionality. So, overall score. Holo Audio Red DDC and streamer. 5 tigers out of 5. This thing is amazing. I had a little problem with the software, but as soon as we flashed it and rebooted it, not a single problem since. It's been solid as a rock. NeoStream. 4 tigers out of 5. Slight software problem, flashed, perfectly fine. ZenStream, 4 tigers out of 5, solid, right the way through from day one, absolutely no problem. Well done Holo Audio. This is an exceptional device. And well done IFI. This is a very, very versatile device. For some people who don't have a DAC, I think they should reach for this. You get a lot for your money. If you like videos like this, and if you want to see it before anyone else, consider joining Patreon, where you get earlier reviews before YouTube, access to the private Telegram chat where we discuss all of these units when they come in for review, and you get access to me on a regular basis when we talk about equipment. If not, your like, your share, jumping into the public Telegram chat is all I require from you. Until next time, peace.